Hi, I'm Brad. I'd like to welcome you to the third episode of the Pop Archive, where we talk about life, culture, and curiosities. Today, I'm going to tell you about the vacation from hell. Let me preface what I'm going to tell you by explaining that over the last 14 years, my wife and I have traveled throughout the world. Never in all those years did we ever have so many problems as we had last year on our trip to the UK and Ireland. The first sign of pending doom happened when my wife injured her foot about 1 week before we were to fly out. The resulting injury required her to wear an orthopedic boot throughout the trip. Since I don't drive on the wrong side of the road, guess who had to with a boot on? The second bad omen of things to come on this trip took place when I attempted to open a bottle of wine the night before we flew out. Somehow or another, I managed to slam the bottom of the wine bottle a bit too hard on the countertop. Wine and glass went flying everywhere. The highlight of our trip was to visit the 5,000-year-old Neolithic village of Skara Brae on the Orkney Islands north of Scotland. The first leg of our trip went fine. We flew from Manchester, England to Inverness, Scotland. Just 10 minutes prior to boarding our flight from Inverness, Scotland to Kirkwall on the Orkney Islands, the flight was canceled. Apparently, the air traffic controllers in Kirkwall decided to go on strike. Are you kidding me? Bam! There goes our second attempt to reach the Orkney Islands. Our first attempt was back in 2015. We had chartered a boat to take us from Wick, Scotland, over to the Orkney Islands. However, because of gale force winds, the cruise was canceled. Are you kidding? The scariest moment of this trip took place when I lost my laptop in Liverpool. We were returning to a car park. I momentarily put the laptop down on the ground in order to put on a jacket. As soon as we reached the car on the second floor, oh my God, I just realized I'd left my laptop downstairs. In a panic, I ran down 2 flights of stairs, only to discover it was gone. It couldn't have been more than 2 minutes. I started running up one street and down another street as fast as I could, hoping I might find someone who was walking off with the bag. No luck, it was gone. A young father fortunately noticed I was in distress. He picked up his phone, he called the management office at the car park. A maintenance man found the laptop no more than maybe a minute after I put it on the ground. To add insult to injury, not only did I almost lose the bag that day, but we had a taxi waiting for us after we'd stowed our luggage in the car to drive us around. He had been sitting there for at least 30 minutes with the meter running. Oh, hell. If that wasn't enough, while we were still in Liverpool, my wife became extremely frustrated when we could not find parking at a very popular public attraction. She was so frustrated that she put the car in neutral and she gunned the engine 2 or 3 times. A bad decision. Moments later, there's a knock on the window, and it's a constable, and he chastises her for her behavior and tells her to calm down. Our trip from hell continued when we tried to visit the Royal Crescent in Bath, England. The Royal Crescent is an 18th century row of terraced houses that are laid out in a sweeping crescent shape. When we arrived, there must have been at least 2 or perhaps 3,000 University of Bath students partying and celebrating on the lawn in front of the Royal Crescent. They were celebrating the end of exams and the beginning of summer vacation. Our trip from hell continued when we found our car boxed in a car park in Chester, England. The cars on each side of us were parked so close to us that I could not even touch the 4 door handles, let alone open the door. Eventually, I had to open up the back hatch, climb over luggage and 2 rows of seats in order to get the car started. Are you kidding me? Our trip from hell continued when we tried to find lodging one evening in the English Midlands. We checked into a hotel, and as soon as we got to our room, we discovered there were 2 very, very big, loud, barking dogs in the room next to us. When we complained to the desk, they told us they had no other rooms available that night. However, they did find another room in another one of their facilities approximately 50 miles away. When we arrived there, we checked in, and as soon as we got to our room, we discovered that there was no air conditioning. Oh, hell. In fact, not only was there no air conditioning in our room, the air conditioning in the entire hotel was out. If that wasn't bad enough, the electric towel rack in the bathroom was set to high and you could not turn it off. I swear to God, the bathroom was like a hot, steaming sauna. Give me a break. Our trip from hell continued as we drove through the English countryside. I swear, every time we came to a roundabout, we would miss the turn. I can't begin to count how many times we had to backtrack 15 or 20 miles. It was so frustrating. Our trip from hell continued when we arrived in Dublin. I swear to God, it must have been raining cats and dogs for 2 days when we got there. In fact, I asked a local, does it rain here like this often? He said, it never rains like this. Oh, hell. If that weren't enough, we had scheduled a visit to see the famous 9th century Book of Kells in Trinity College in Dublin. Guess what? The day we arrived, the Book of Kells had been removed just for that one particular day for its annual maintenance and cleaning. Give me a break.